It's not funny to make jokes at the expense of a state which by all reckoning has been in very bad shape. But I can't help this one. If you open the Government of West Bengal website, the most prominent advertisement that comes along is West Bengal State Disaster Management Authority. And that is the note on which we start this edition of On Point. As a maverick observer of the Indian economy, I like to take these walks with you on all aspects of the economy. And it gets extremely good if you get to know that a new episode is on the air. And the best way to do it is to click on the bell icon. That way you know a fresh episode has hit the webs. And now onwards with our story. As I said, if you open the website of the Government of West Bengal, it might change in a couple of days, but it's a good shot now. Look at this. When you open it, you get the new Chief Minister's face, but along with that, the most prominent location or the logo is that of the West Bengal State Disaster Management Authority. Now that is not funny, but it's quite a reflection of where West Bengal has been for quite some time. For instance, just compare it with the Tamil Nadu government. Here is the website of the Tamil Nadu government. A functioning government, a new chief minister has come in, already there are press releases, there are lots of details. It is business as usual. And that is what we discuss this time, that what will it take to get a state like West Bengal working, a state like Tamil Nadu go further. So my estimate is that the government of India, and now there are the same government in both state and the center, the double engine sarkar. But if in its enthusiasm, if the government of India starts putting in a lot of money to West Bengal, announces new projects, new formulations, frankly speaking, that will be a recipe for disaster. Yes, the same disaster management authority I talked about. What West Bengal lacks is the capacity to soak in money. What it will need to do, and I say this with absolutely full sense of responsibility, is to build up institutions to be able to soak in that money. For decades, and not just under this government, the Trinamool government which went out, but also under the left front, West Bengal had systematically emasculated all centers of higher education, centers of regulations. In that state, there are hardly any institutions which can stand with the government, along with the government, and provide administrative support, thought leadership, and anything else to be able to make the state go on. The state chief minister, the new state chief minister, Suvendu Adhikari, will be well doing his work if he starts the work of building up these institutions and give them the time to develop themselves, to establish themselves. Now, this is a difficult task because obviously the state has had massive unemployment. The state's per capita income is so low compared to the national average. There's so many other yardsticks. Obviously, the expectations are very high. But if it's like, the guy who hasn't had a meal for a long time, if you now, set that person sitting in front of a heavy, rich meal, what will happen is that the person will simply collapse. In fact, doctors would often say that the person could even die. West Bengal is in no position to take in massive amounts of investment. Just for an example, just let's understand why. The West Bengal's own tax revenue, and let's compare here with Tamil Nadu, is in the year 23-24, which was the last year when the figures were audited, was about 90,000 crore. Tamil Nadu was actually not too far ahead. It was 1,67,000 crore. So, roughly double, but that's not too huge a difference. If you look at the growth rate of the state's own tax revenue, again CAG figures, West Bengal was growing at 9.10%, West Bengal was Tamil Nadu was growing at 10.36%. But, and this is a very important but, this is where the comparison ends. West Bengal has a revenue deficit of 25,692 in FY24, the same year that we are talking about, and qualifies for a finance commission grant. It has a deficit of 25,692 crore revenue deficit and qualifies for a finance commission grant. Tamil Nadu has a deficit of 45,121 crore, that's almost double of West Bengal, but does not qualify for a finance commission grant. Why so? The difference, if you read the finance commission grant rules, you would find that Tamil Nadu has the institutional structure to be able to make good on that deficit, which is why the finance commission, the last finance commission, did not think it was necessary, the 15th finance commission did not think it necessary for Tamil Nadu to get a finance commission grant, extra allowance to make good on the state's budget. What it was basically saying, what the finance commission was basically saying was that Tamil Nadu may have a deficit, but Tamil Nadu's potential capacity and its administrative system is good enough to make good that loss. West Bengal, with a lesser, half of Tamil Nadu's revenue deficit, has no such chance. This is where the problem is. It needs support of a different sort. It needs institutional support. And mind you, according to me, that institutional support means building up state's institution. The state has no departments where there are people put in for a long time to be able to provide regulatory leadership, and that comes in various phases. The West Bengal RERA is in shambles. The West Bengal State Electricity Regulatory Commission hasn't revised the tariff rates for years. The West Bengal water rates, the West Bengal land and urban land planning department haven't had meetings for years. As a result, it is, and if the money is now poured in, considerable amount of money could come in, and it is expected that will come in, that money will either be sitting there because there is no way that the state can make good on those, or it will go to waste, or it will be wasted. This is where the big challenge, the big difference between West Bengal and Tamil Nadu comes. That Tamil Nadu, no matter whichever the new government, has the capacity to be able to go on with administration. West Bengal cannot go on in the same way that it has been going on. And the big change that Shubhendu Adhikari will have to bring in is to build up those regulatory institutions. It's frankly not very exciting. What happens is, when these institutions are built, people are appointed, then people outside, the voters, they don't get very interested. Kya ho raha hai? I mean, like, nothing is really moving, people are getting appointed. But those appointments and giving them the time to develop plans is crucial breathing space that the state needs. At this stage, for instance, if West Bengal, for instance, to give a simple example, the number of buses that ply on West Bengal road is actually about a third of what happens on Tamil Nadu roads. The two states have roughly the same geographical area. What's happened? What was so difficult about buses? West Bengal simply didn't have the capacity to expand its bus linkages, to develop a capacity to make the buses go on to the different places. It has not updated the buses for ages. It has not updated the bus fares for ages. Tamil Nadu essentially lives on its buses. And these differences are what make life conditions different in different places. So, the short of it is that at this stage, if the government of India pours in money into West Bengal, for instance, to set up a huge industry, it will really be a disaster. It will bloat the state. It will not make the state healthy. The state needs a lot of building up from within by bits and pieces to be recovered from all sorts of places for the state to start moving ahead. Policy literature usually says that it takes about a generation for the memory of violence to go away from a particular community. West Bengal has been under violence for about 50 years. It will give it several years for that violence, for that memory of those violence to move on. It will take time, and that time has to be bought, and at that time has to be insisted on. The chief minister of the state has to get out to be able to tell the state that the recovery means essentially building institutions. It's a difficult thing to explain to people, as I said, but there is no other go than for West Bengal to do that process. If that is not done, then 5 years later, we will be asking the same questions again. And that's all from this edition of 1 Point.